All right. Um, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream, another video. We'll do 1 minute. Turn that monetization on. Now, let me go back here. All right. Actually, I got to refresh. Let me pin all these things, and then we'll get into some stuff. Yeah, last time around, I have to find a way to check all my chats and stuff. Um, because there are some people that come to different chats and I don't even know that they're there, and they say a bunch of stuff and things that are just rude. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but it may bother other people that could be in the chat or anything like that. So, but make sure you take the time to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Um, Hit that notification bell for more of these videos. We got 24 people. We got 13 likes, which is amazing. The like to view ratio is fantastic by having 13 likes with, 24 viewers. So make sure you have the chance to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, um, hit that notification bell, all that stuff. That helps out the channel, helps out growth. We're seeing some interesting movement, right? We could talk about Jasmine Coin as well, but we're going to talk about the entire market. That's primarily what um, these live streams are more about, is kind of focusing on more of the entire market, but you know, having a main central focus that we like to talk about. But if you guys want to sign up for BTCC, feel free to do so. The link to BTCC is in the chat. This is a platform where if you specifically use my link, you will get a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses up to $10,055. You can get up to 40% lower trading fees. You can trade at up to a 500x leverage. So you have the opportunity to really get a lot of different things. It depends on what you do, as well as having no VPN and no KYC that is required. So feel free to check out the link in the chat where you guys can get started on your leverage trading journey, on your crypto journey. Start with maybe $100, potentially turn it into thousands. It just all depends on your strategy of investing. So make sure you check that out. I have some trades that are open, some that are positive, some that are negative. Right, I have ones that are down, like Litecoin is down by 44%. VET is down by 53%. Quant is down by 32%. HBAR is down by 11%. So looking at those, you're like, are you making any money? And yes, right. You can look at the P&L that I have open. I'm up $1,837.60 or whatever. I turned this $500 account into about a $3,600, almost $4,000 account. At one point, it was $6,000, approaching $7,000, but the market kind of took a downturn yesterday, and it wasn't really great. But OKB is up by 271%, or $1,572. But then you have this down by 51%, Lunic. You have ADA up by 23%, $236. You have AVAX that's actually up about $1,000, 1,000% on this $93 investment. So you have opportunity to make money, and some of these that I have here, they have the ability to go for a while, right, to get to lower and lower figures. But it's a 3x leverage, so it's not majorly risky, but it is still has that risk to it. So anyways, if you want to get started leverage trading and making money and learning how to maybe trade, if you haven't done it short term or long term, feel free to start with BTCC. It's a great platform there. But again, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more of these live streams, more of these videos. We got 46 people here and 19 likes. If you guys can hit that like button, get me up to about 30 likes. That would be great. Good morning, everybody. Blue Collar Trader, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Do you trade just crypto, or do you trade cryptocurrency stocks? Or are you trading a lot of different things? What's up, Trinidad? Good morning from Polk City, Florida. The Florida? That's FL or FI? I don't know where Polk City is. Is it Florida? I guess that's where it is. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Brandon White. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Yes, we're all talking about Jasmine Coin. We all want Jasmine Coin to succeed. You're great. God bless you. Thank you for saying that. Jasmine chart is dead, bro. I was wondering why $1. It's worse than Plum or Plume. I don't know what Plume is. Crypto. So you just trade crypto. You don't trade anything else. You don't have any money invested into the stock. Most people have like a 401k. And for most people that I talk to, they have a 401k that they don't understand. And that's wild to me. Having a 401k where you don't know where they're investing your money is crazy. But Jasmine Coin, someone's saying Jasmine Coin's chart being dead. Jasmine Coin's chart is not dead. Because I've seen a chart that's actually dead, right? Charts that are actually dead go from 99%, and then it just stays at that level. We don't see any type of movement. We don't see any type of flow. We don't see any type of volume to market cap ratio that's at a higher level. So knowing that Jasmine Coin is ahead of the game by being as popular as it is, by having as much conversation as it has had and will have, having as many holders that it has, and also having as many people that are viewing it, viewing the chart, that have it on their watch list, that is about 20 minutes from Disney. Oh, okay. Well, I've been to Disney a couple of times. That's pretty much the extent of it. I would love to go to. We're gonna go to Universal at some point, but I would love to go to Universal. I think the next trip that we're gonna make is another Disney trip, but kind of, I don't know. We'll see. I heard a lot of people are canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions and canceling their Disney trips, so I don't know, but it's interesting. That's interesting. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I would love to go to Universal. I haven't ever been, and I have some family members that have, but I would love to go. I hear nothing but good things besides people getting. I think somebody like died on a ride recently. So yeah. Yeah, it's a 401k. I move around also. Okay, so yeah, that's good. As long as you understand that side of it as well. I think the for me, cryptocurrency is such a speculative market that I want to be able to move the amount that I make in gains, because it's a lot more than what you can make in a traditional market, over to that traditional market for more stability. And then when the crypto market becomes majorly stable, then I'll already have a decent amount in there. I plan on having forever cryptocurrencies, so I hope that a lot of those become those ones that are stable, so I don't have to reinvest into those. But I have all of my open investments that I'm going to probably transition from making as much money as I can. Let's say I make $1 million from this one play. I would like to take a certain amount, throw it into my dividend portfolio, 529 accounts, retirement accounts, like those that can provide me with long-term stable growth, right? That's what I hope for. But Jasmine Coin, again, Jasmine Coin currently sits, if I wanted to give you an update, currently sits at 1.2 cents, 1.3 cents. Many people have asked me, before Jasmine Coin ran, they were like, why are you talking about Jasmine Coin? And those same people, as Jasmine Coin ran up to 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 5, 10 cent, right? Or sorry, 6 cents. I don't know why I said that. 6 cents, running up to those levels, people asked me a different question. They were like, how can I find an entry point into Jasmine Coin? Why do I never get opportunities to buy into these plays? What's crazy is you have those opportunities all the time. People don't take advantage of those opportunities. That's the problem. So when you have a 1.2 cent versus a 5 cent price, you're not asking that question, when do I have an entry point? Because right now could be the entry point for you compared to where it was. Absolutely. If you bought at 3 cents and you have a chance to average down, now is your chance to do that, right? Low points are your chances to do that. And then when it starts to run, we're going to get those same questions. I missed out on this. Where's my next entry point? When can I buy into this? It's like when things are down, when it's down for a long time, they don't look at it and go, okay, this is an opportunity. They look at it and go, it's just going to die and it's not going to come back. And that sucks. But, whatever. To each their own, right? If you're going to be the person to consistently ask questions and not make moves, I mean, then that's on you, right? Not saying that you have to buy, not saying that you have to own it, not saying that 100% will get there. In my mind, we will see that. However, you shouldn't just believe everything you see on the internet, everything you hear on the internet. You have to believe what you see, because whatever you see and what you do, um, you have to accept those consequences, or accept the gains, or accept the losses, right? Because that's what I do, right? I talk about what I'm doing in the markets, and my success or failures um, come from the decisions that I made. Right? If somebody else, talks me out of a play, it's my fault. I ultimately made the decision to not buy that play, or to sell the play, or whatever, right? I made that decision. So, anyways, Jasmine Coin, 1.2, 1.3 cent price. In the last year, it's down by about 40%. We saw that high of about 6 cents. What was the actual high? It was like 5.9. I guess it's not gonna. Well, we'll do the last year. Sorry, the actual high was 5.8. I'm definitely tired. Someone said wake up. I don't know if you're talking about me, but I'm definitely tired. I'm always tired. I dabble in options also, but not lately. Okay. Yeah, I've only traded options a couple of times. I know there's options trading, in a way, for cryptocurrency as well, which I could get into. But I've seen people have success with options. I just haven't been as successful with options at all. I've lost money in the maybe 4 or 5 trades that I've made, or 4 or 5 option plays that I've made, um, contracts that I've taken up. It's not that I don't understand it. It's just that when you're successful at something, you continue to do that thing that you're successful at. It's always great to explore and kind of look outside the box, but still, I like to look at the things I'm successful at and continue to do those things. Memories with the kids, cherish them. Yeah, I mean, I try and cherish them every single day. I'm glad that I get to do this, right? That I get to get online and talk to you guys and make videos and talk about my investments, because I've always talked to people about what I'm doing investing wise. It's just it never, as I was younger before YouTube, it never turned into a business to talk about investing, to talk about your plan, to talk about your strategy, to go over different milestones that you have. And um, and now that it is this, I'm so glad that I get to take this time to do this, because I've always been up early. I've always been an early riser, meaning that I need to get as much done as I can before anybody's even awake, before anybody's even doing anything, right? Or even thinking about waking up, right? Um, that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I love to do. Kids are sleeping. I don't have to worry about them doing whatever they have to do. I don't have to worry about them taking them to school at this time. Uh, I would love if I can live stream a little bit longer, which could be like Wednesdays. Maybe I'll have like longer live streams because Erica usually takes them to school, but it all depends. Um, if she has time in the morning, then I sometimes just get up there and do it because I like spending time with the kids, anyways. But I cherish the moment, every moment, um, that I have with them, because you don't get those back. You don't. One day they're gonna, at some point, somebody said this to me that one day you're gonna put them down and you're never gonna pick them back up, right? Because they're too big, they're too heavy, they just don't want to be picked up, or it's awkward, right? They're very large, right? So yeah, and that just made me upset. So cherish those moments. I cherish them all the time. Basketball, sports, um, conversation. Somebody else told me about if anybody has kids, when you put them to sleep and the lights go out, like you're like, all right, it's bedtime, and then you're about to close the door. A lot of times, something in them just makes them very, very talkative, and a lot of parents will shut that down. But they said don't shut that down, and talk to them. That's when you'll actually have the most conversation, where they feel the most vulnerable, most open. So have those conversations. And Harper has said the most random things in the world, and she'll think of stuff that happened, 2 days ago, and I'm like, why are you even thinking of this? And she's like, I don't know, I just want to talk to you. So enjoy those times, anyways. Um, it's creating lower Jasmine coin, bro. Wait, it's creating lower Jasmine coin, bro. If you trend line from top to bottom, it can climb. It can't climb much. How you give $1 speculation? So you're looking at a chart based on as you see it, and you're saying it's creating lower lows, lower highs. Is that what you're referring to when you look at the chart? Um, so when you look at crypto charts, you cannot look at it the same way you do as traditional charts, as traditional businesses, because cryptocurrency is one completely different. Also, it's based on the random things that do happen. It's based on the type of season that we're in, whether we're in altcoin season, whether we're in a bullish territory or bearish territory, right? It really depends on that. It depends on the news that's out there circulating for cryptocurrency in general. So it depends on a lot more than just, hey, this is what the chart is doing now. Because if that's the case, right, you can say that with every cryptocurrency that's out there, right? Bitcoin for the longest period of time was creating lower lows, lower highs for a very long time, all the way down to like $16,000, $17,000. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to see that success. And through that, you see it the bounce at that low level, and then you see the consistency of that growth. Yes, in the shorter period of time, it looks horrible, right? But then if you zoom out, as you get more time and you zoom out, you see that positivity as it's working its way up. So there's uh, many things that you can look at in Jasmine Coin and understand the history. Understand that we are not in altcoin season yet. Understand that this is a popular position that has usually high volume to market cap ratio, meaning that a lot of volume goes into this play. The amount of holders, the amount of believers into it, um, and I think there's a lot of things that you can look at and you can focus on, and you can focus on the negatives if you want to, but I've chosen to focus on the positives, just like I did when it was at 40% of a penny. Um, just because it has decreased here down to 1.2 cents, 1.3 cents, doesn't mean that everything is over and everything is dead. There's so much more life left in Jasmine Coin. Morning stream. Wait, morning, Matt. It's been a hell of a long time since I've seen you stream. Yeah, I mean, I've streamed off and on. It hasn't been as consistent as it should be. Hope all is well. Everything is going smoothly. I'm happy with where I am. I would love to have more views and more um, live streams and all that stuff, but I I don't really need it. I'm not saying like, oh, I have to have it, but I want to make sure I remain here, right? I could completely go dark and be perfectly fine, but I like doing this. I like talking about different plays that I'm in. I like talking about Jasmine. I like talking about um, XRP. I like talking about AVAX, which has recently made a decent move, which is great. And I plan on making a video about that because I've had AVAX for a long time. I don't think I've made a single video on AVAX. Like not even one video. I don't think no, I don't think I've made one video on AVAX, and I have 500 AVAX in my possession, and I haven't made a single video on AVAX. And I think that that can be worth well over the all-time high that we've seen. um, and should be, right? I've seen some predictions out there where people are like, AVAX to $3,000. I mean, I don't necessarily see that, but I've given my predictions, and I haven't given my public predictions. Um, I've gone through my predictions for AVAX, and we're seeing some decent movement for that today. I mean, because it's at like 35 cents, or $35. Sorry. But we saw this at, if we look a year, we saw this at $53. It should be up in those levels. But still, even at that level, we're still only looking at a $22 billion market cap. AVAX should be worth a lot more than that. You got 422 million in circulating supply. You got that max supply of 715 million. 2.67 billion dollars worth of volume today, in the last 24 hours. $14.69 billion of a market cap. But yeah, it has so much more upside. We look at all history, and the highest point is a $30 billion market cap. That was a price of $100 plus dollars. Obviously, we're not going to see that. Well, I mean, we could still see $100 plus easily. But right now it's sitting at about a $34 price point. And again, the market cap is not too far away from that all-time high. So there definitely was some dilution throughout it, but I still see a lot more potential to grow to a lot higher figures. But thanks for being here, M. Creeks. I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a while, but hopefully you stop by the stream a couple of times. How are your investments going? I know you were invested into Jasmine quite a bit. Um, have you made any other recent investments? If you're still here. What do you think about AVAX? Do you see it going back to all time highs? Yes, I just talked about that. AVAX is going to make stupid gains. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. You should start buying or start pumping BTR. You'll be. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't have it, and I don't plan on making any newer investments. Anytime that I say that, where I'm like I'm done making any newer investments, I then make a newer investment, right? But I don't plan on it. I really want to refrain from throwing any more money into the crypto market, because we're leading into. I feel like there's still a lot of opportunities, especially when you look at where Jasmine Coin is now. It's like that's an opportunity. You can get 1 million. It can only cost you 13,000 rather than costing you 60. Now getting up to the 60 or 6 cent price. Definitely is more of an opportunity there, and there's some opportunities out there with like Litecoin and many others. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Will we see 10 cents anytime soon? I would love to see it, right? My thought process is seeing, um, let me go back here. What I want to see by the end of this year, I want to see 10 cents. I would hope to see 10 to 20 cents, especially if we are going to see altcoin season truly break out, right? And Jasmine Coin, we've seen it run um, very fast, um, very high, very fast, right? We've seen hundreds of percent within days, which is great. And we can see it again as we've already explored those levels, and now it's about breaking past those levels. And again, this is all speculation, but I believe that we can. I believe that we will, by the end of this year, get to those levels. If you guys could make sure to hit the like button. We got 84 people that are here, 39 likes. I would like to get to about 50 or 60 likes. That would be amazing. I would hope by the end of this live stream that we can get to 100 likes. That would be amazing. Fantastic. Would love it. Maybe 200 likes. That would be great. But we only have an hour left. Hour and 15 minutes left of this live stream. So let's get it done. Hi Perry, long time. All good? Yeah, I think everything's good. What's good with you? Make any new investments? Anything that I wouldn't know about? Do you have thoughts on meme coins? I've been looking, and maybe could come meme coin season two. So my thoughts on meme coins. I like meme coins, right? I have meme coins. I think there's opportunity in meme coins to make money. The issue that you have with meme coins is that they are based on whatever price we set as the goal for like a Dogecoin, which Dogecoin has kind of changed, especially with the ETF and kind of more what people would refer to as acceptance. When you look at things like that and they're like Doge to $1, well, the idea is for it to get to $1. What's next? What happens after that? It gets to $1. Does it recover anything? Does it allow you to do something? Do you have access to more things? What is that? No, it just gets to $1. People get very happy in the gains that they've made. They sell that position. It comes back down, right? That's the mindset behind a meme coin. Is you can have unexplainable gains for a play that has no inherent value at all, right? And I like meme coins. I have things like Grok, which I do think is going to increase a lot. I have Bohm, which I bought both of those things too high, but I still believe that they're going to increase a lot. I should buy more Bohm because I think that I have the ability to lower my cost basis. It's just that I don't want to put any more money into the crypto market, so I'm between a rock and a hard place. But I have Shiba Inu, trying to think of some other meme coins that I have. I have GME. I have a bunch of meme coins that they're primarily about the gains that you can make within them and nothing more than that. Not how you can use them, not how they're going to improve the economy. That's all they're about. So if you are going to explore that, understand that that is the mindset. Do not put these as forever cryptocurrencies. Do not put these as something that's going to be worth more than XRP or worth more than Bitcoin or worth more than Ethereum, right? That's not what the mindset should be. That's not what the thought should be around meme coins. It should always be about what are the levels that holders and believers are going to sell at. If they see this at a certain price, what's the likelihood that they will sell at that level, right? You have to predict what other people are going to do because you kind of have to sell whatever you want to sell before they sell. It's kind of like I have to beat you to the punch type of thing. But if you see certain levels that it can get to or certain levels that it can resist from, make sure that within that process of that longer gain, that higher gain, Dogecoin to $1, within that process, you have an exit plan to take profit as you go along so that no matter what happens at that peak point, and you don't get it exactly at that peak point, you still make money throughout the growth process, So that's my thoughts on meme coins. I like meme coins and I have a bunch of meme coins. I think a lot of them can absolutely break out. But again, it's more of like hey, I got to beat you to the punch. I got to sell before you sell. And if you have a heck of a lot, or if somebody else has a heck of a lot, you got to predict when that massive whale is going to sell their position. And maybe it's a little sooner than you think. um, Matt, morning. Please invest in ZBCN. I'm not buying any newer cryptocurrencies, so not at the moment. Hello, Matt. How are you, brother? I'm doing pretty good. Is it Wise Man? Wise Mind. I don't know why I couldn't see it. Uh, Wise Mind. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member, by the way. But I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. I get to spend time with the children. I get to talk about my investments. My investments are looking good, decent. Um, I have a challenge which I may end up changing the challenge to TikTok. So I don't really upload on TikTok a lot. I was uploading a decent amount, maybe once a day, twice a day at one point. But I think it's off and on at this point. But I would love to do an update on how much, and maybe it's going to be a quick update on how much I'm able to make from my leverage trading platform. Speaking of leverage trading platforms, if you guys want to sign up for BTCC, feel free to do so. This is a platform where you can get a 10% deposit bonus if you specifically use that link that's in the chat. You can also get up to $10,055 worth of extra bonuses per user, depending on the milestones and thresholds and things that you do there. You can also get up to 40% lower trading fees and trade up to a 500x leverage. No VPN or KYC is required here. They've been, trading for or available and out there for 14 years with millions of users and investors. So check it out. Link is down there. Here's my leverage trading portfolio. I'm up $1,800. There's a lot of things that I am down on percentage wise, especially the more recent investments. Like I made all of these very, very recently, but then some other ones like OKB, that was still relatively recent, but it had a major um, move, which took away a lot of its supply, and you see the price skyrocket, and that's why I have that there. Also, AVAX is up by about $1,000 as well. But then some other things are down by 200 or 100 here or 150 there. So while I am down on many different plays, I'm down more than what I'm up. Like the amount of positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 that I'm up on these plays. The ones that I'm up on are, kind of massively up, right? Up 200% here on Caspa, up 23% or $234 on ADA, up 1,000% on AVAX, right? And up, what was it? 270% on OKB, resulting in positive $1,800 overall. So yeah, anyways, check out the link for BTCC. I think I'm going to do that update on TikTok, and I'm just going to consistently update people on the journey of getting to $100,000. And hopefully people enjoy it. Yeah, I'll probably do that daily. Make sure that everybody knows what's happening over there. If you guys want to check out my TikTok, I think it's just Matthew Perry if you want to check that out, because I'm going to upload those. Let me go back here. And let me skip that. And let me go to my profile. So yeah, it's just Matthew.Perry. It should be under, I think. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. It's not. You can search it. I got about 37,000 followers. And I would like to just update people on what's going on with stocks, what's going on with crypto. Is this cat going to come up here? All right, fine. Fine. Someone in the chat said Jasmine chart is dead. Is this true? It's not. The the thing that people like to say is anytime something has a long-standing time period of negativity, or not even negativity, it could be just something that's flat. They like to say it's dead. They like to say it's over and that you're never going to see any growth within it. And those people, they either just hated Jasmine from the beginning, or they could have been somebody that gave up on Jasmine coin and they don't have the patience, right? In order to be invested into crypto, you have to have patience. Think about it. If you held Bitcoin and Bitcoin was at $20,000, what was it in 2000? It was like 13 or 14. Um, it was at $20,000 at one point and then dropped all the way down to $2,000. You don't understand how many times, even at that point, that many people were like, whatever you thought Bitcoin was, it's dead. This has been around for over a decade at this point, where when something has less success, or it's not as popular as it should be, or many people aren't talking about it as much, or you see the position or chart that's flat, people will claim that something is dead. They said the same thing for XRP, that XRP was dead at 50 cents and it would never get past 90 cents again. It would never get up to not even breathe on or sniff $100 billion market cap. That's what they told me, is that it would not get to $100 billion market cap and that it was going to die. It was going to go to zero. And many people will, not many people, but some people will say this, and it will be louder than anything that could have been positive about that position. And when it does break out, those people are either still silent or still in denial, right? Because they said the same thing about Jasmine coin while it was at 40% of a penny, and then it broke out to 1 cent. And they were like, well, it did break out past 1 cent, but it's not going to get to any of these levels. It's not even going to get to 5 cents or anything like that. Well, guess what? It got to 5 cents. And they're still in denial. Those people will just push whatever they want to push, but never see the positivity in anything outside of that. And that's okay, right? If you want to think that, then think it. But you're so loud with your negativity that it makes people worry. That's why you have to be patient. Patience is everything. While everybody's talking this down and you're people are getting concerned, some people get concerned, and some people sell their position early. This creates an opportunity. While you have maybe your position at 4 cents, or maybe bought it at 5 cents, or maybe you bought it at 6 cents, you have the opportunity now to go, I can average into it. But in the back of your mind, you're hearing all the people that are saying Jasmine coin is dead, and you're like, should I put any more money into a quote unquote dead project? But that's up to you, right? I'm not going to tell you you have to do something. I'm not going to tell you that this is your only chance to do it. But when this does break out, I probably will see the same thing where it's like, I should have bought while it was at 1.2 cents. Yeah. And you should have, right? But shoulda, coulda, woulda is not going to do anything for you. What will do something for you is absolutely taking action. And if you don't take any action, you're going to be sorry in the end. Whatever that action is, if you don't take action, you could be very, very sorry in the end. Because patience is everything. $1.50 too late to wait. What? $1 to $5 too late to start selling ADA? I don't know what you're saying. Is $1 to $5 too late to start selling ADA? You're saying if you start selling at $5, is that too late to start selling ADA? I mean, it depends how much you hold. I think you should always have an exit plan established, and where ADA is right now, I believe it's still below $1. if I'm not mistaken. Where's ADA? Yeah, it's at 82 cents. I believe it's still below $1. It should be worth $100 billion, if not more than that. Like we should be seeing it up in the levels that it was at last bull run, if not double that. So is $5 too late? Uh, I would probably say so. I would think that you want to, especially where it is now, you want to maybe take a little bit of profit. What is $5 for ADA? What's the price point? I don't even know how many are in circulation. Because we're currently seeing a $29 billion market cap, meaning that seeing a 3x up to a $100 billion market cap will be getting it closer to that $3 mark, right? Um, yeah, $3 over $100 billion market cap. So $5 would be selling, and selling this position to start selling it would be at a level where it's higher than the previous market cap. Maybe not the previous high price, right? The highest price that we've seen, the all-time high is $3. So it would be higher than that all-time high. So I would say that depends on how much you have, but for me, yes, right. I have an exit plan to where it starts, at what the all-time high was, and then still have some to hold. Like I have ADA that I'm going to hold for a very long time, um, but then be able to sell a portion of it to start with, and then as we move along with getting at higher and higher market caps, that's when I start selling a little bit more profit. But I want to take my initial investment plus a little bit of profit in the meantime, so that I can put that elsewhere, either into another cryptocurrency project or most likely into my dividend portfolio. Where do you see the tax structure in 2026 um, involving crypto profits in the U.S.? I've been adding to my bags during the dips over the past 3 to 5 years. So, I mean, I don't know where the tax structure will be. Um, I know that they're going to try and find a way to narrow down the amount of gains that people are getting from cryptocurrency, because a lot of these places, like a MetaMask or something, or a wallet, don't really track what your gains are. I think they're starting to do that now, but they haven't done that really in the past, and you don't get reporting for that. And the only thing that really tells you on whether you are making money or aren't making money in crypto is whatever's being deposited into your bank account, if it is. When it gets to a point where you're using your crypto wallet to buy stuff, well, now how can the government track what you're making in cryptocurrency, besides the ones that are like Coinbase or Kraken or um, whatever? It's going to be maybe a little bit difficult to do that. And even for me, like I invested in the crypto for a while, right? So if I'm invested in the crypto for a while and continuously putting money into there, um, at some point, like I would have to track absolutely everything, and it'd have to be reliable, and they would have to, if they wanted to go and search into that, they would have to dig through every single transaction that's there in order to get to what my ultimate gain would be and what I started with. So for 2026, for future tax situations, the whole tax structure, I really don't know how they're gonna go and track absolutely everything. Uh, but I try and do it the best way that I can when I'm doing my taxes. I can't say that it's absolutely perfect, but I do it the best way that I can, especially when it comes to the amount of, like, if I make any money from whatever. It could be a sponsorship, it could be a commission, um, that's treated as more of an income rather than a gain, because obviously with the short-term gain I could get taxed 40%, uh, and with going through my business or my commissions, it's like 20%. So We'll see. We will see. Um, Especially with how much money people are making in crypto now. It's kind of crazy. Sold all my wait. I sold my XRP at 87 cents, and I truly regret it now. That's understandable, right? Um, if you made profit from it, you can't 100% regret it. You have to say, hey, I made profit from it. What can I learn from this so that I don't do that the next time and sell too early? Um, but you still made money from it. Now, maybe, just maybe, you were a person that saw 90 cents and you were like, all right, it's going to resist from 90 cents. And it never did. It just broke past it and then continued to move. And I've talked to people like that have sold way too early because of trying to time the market and trying to make that move where it happens the first time, resists away from 75 cents. Second time, resists away from 80 cents, right? But then the third time around, you're like, all right, it's up to 90 cents, it's going to resist. And then it doesn't. And it's like, I now made the ultimate mistake when I could have timed the market 2 times before. But then again, if you would have tried to time it then, who's to say that it wouldn't have broken out then? So it's tough. It's very, very tough. They want quick money. Yeah, of course. Of course they want quick money. Those people that are like, hey, Jasmine Coin is dead or whatever is dead. Yes, of course they want quick money. It's okay. Not everybody can have the patience necessary to invest into projects like these. Invest into cryptocurrency in general, I think, is you need patience, especially with crypto. It's, it can be very, very volatile. Well, people will give up immediately because of a liquidation trade. Bitcoin will go from 100,000 down to 70, and it's like that's normal because you see a liquidation trade. It looks horrible, and we talk about it, and we complain and all this other stuff, but we've seen it time and time again. Crypto is volatile, but you have to be patient in a volatile market, which is tough. Jasmine Weekly looks like crap, but wallets with a large supply can pump and dump it. So understand that while you have wallets with larger supplies, right? Whether you have millions or you have hundreds of thousands or whatever, that's a part of every and any cryptocurrency, especially ones that have hype and they have um, fans behind it. They have attention, right? They have volume that goes in and out of that position. There's so much that happens. Even if you do see those larger wallets that are going to sell, you're going to see larger wallets that are going to buy, right? That's what investing is about. You see it everywhere. Now, it's whether you see all of the large wallets sell and don't rebuy, or you don't see any newer people that are coming in. However, you're seeing just as many, if not more, buyers than you are sellers. So if you have somebody that's selling 1 million, you have somebody else that now sees an opportunity and they buy 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, right? That's what you look at, and that's what I see in a position, especially Jasmine. So again, it can look like crap for you. You can see the weeklies, you can look at the chart, but the chart's only going to tell you so much. You think the chart's going to tell you everything, like if it's a traditional market, I can look at the chart of an ETF and it can tell me everything. But you look at the chart of a cryptocurrency, whatever that is, and it tells you absolutely nothing. A cryptocurrency can be dead for 4 years, 5 years, and then all of a sudden break out with a 1,000% gain. And then you're like, oh, well, why did this happen? Well, it's unexplainable. There are new things that can happen and develop in crypto every single day with one singular cryptocurrency or multiple cryptocurrencies, and then it turns that nothing into a huge something. And I've seen it so many times where I'm like, if you give up on something, and it's like Ren, Ren, I'm putting a lot of faith in. I don't know if it will take off, but it's something that we've seen the previous history. You can have the potential in investing a high amount into one of these plays that can truly break out, but then again, it might not. Like I said, it could be dead for multiple years and then absolutely break out to a level that you wouldn't believe could happen or should happen. And those right there could be taking a huge risk. Jasmine coin is still above the lows where I bought at. My cost basis was 33 cents on XRP. Well, that sucks, but again, you made money from it. It just sucks that you sold a little bit too early. Even if you would have found a way to sell at $3, that would have been way better than selling at 87 cents. But again, you made your move. You got to be happy with it. And it's good that you didn't get emotional, right? Because emotional traders, what they would do is they would see it break out way past where they sold at, and they would just rebuy and accept that they're buying less coins. And sometimes it works out. Sometimes you make money, but there's a lot of times where you lose money because you see it at $3.60 and you buy at that point, and that's the highest point that it's been. And then now it's down to $2.86, and you're down on your position rather than being up. And sometimes that teaches you a lesson, right? If you decide to do that and you do it effectively, right, it teaches you a lesson where it passes $1 and you're like, all right, I made a mistake, and you buy back in. So now you have the same amount of dollars, but you have less coins. So it teaches you a lesson to say, hey, don't do that again, right? But if you're one of those people that bought at the highest possible point, it teaches you a major lesson, and now you have to be negative for probably months, if not, a year or so before you can see any type of positivity. It's like if you're not supposed to touch the stove and you touch the stove and you learn that lesson because it's hot, or you get in trouble and your kid, you go in timeout or in the corner or whatever, and you learn a lesson. You're not going to do that again. Whatever you did, you're not going to do that again, or you're going to try and refrain from having the ability to do it or the choice to do it. Same thing goes for investing. Sometimes you just have to punish yourself there and just accept it, but not be emotional to where you're just trying to time the market now and just trying to make all the money from every up and down. Because you're now in a situation where you're not buying low and selling high, you're buying high and selling low. So, yeah. What is the price for Jasmine before December, in your opinion? I would like to see 10 cents before December, 10 to 20 cents before the end of the year. But it honestly all depends if we truly. What are you doing? This cat just tore down absolutely everything from what in the world? What is up with you? Now I have to put everything back. This is crazy. Give me 1 second. Who did that? Surprised you didn't tear this whole thing down. I don't. You know what? I need to do something with that. I told myself. I said. You know what? I need to take all those wires that are attached to the projector and just like kind of put them on the wall, find a way to keep everything there. I don't know what, I don't know who did that. I would imagine it was Spencer. I would like to go back and look at it was Spencer. He just tore everything down. That's crazy. That's insane. I don't even know. Like, I don't understand why he keeps going. Was he on the shelf? Like, I don't know. Let me see. Let me go back here. He must have been on the shelf. Or no, he was playing with the wires. Wait, that wasn't Spencer. Oh no, it was both of them. They were fighting each other. That's crazy. And Spencer, Spencer and Liv. That's insane. I don't like that at all. Maybe the cat. Wait, I think the cat may be working for Gensler. Probably. That was pretty funny because I thought for some reason that he was up on the shelf because Spencer likes to go up on shelves and he'll just lay down. Like in the laundry room, we had this I don't know, some sort of like decoration that was on one of the shelves. I don't know why we're not using the shelves, but we're putting decorations on the shelves. Um, so we had these shelves, and or we still have them, and he goes up to the top shelf and lays down on that shelf, but he knocked over the decoration, which was like porcelain or whatever, and ended up shattering in the washer because it dropped directly into the washer, shattered in the washer, which I didn't know what it was because I I threw my laundry in there, and then when I took my laundry out, I saw all this glass at the bottom of it, and I was like, "What is this?" And I took it out. I put it into a bag. I vacuumed up whatever I can vacuum up out of the washer, and I asked Erica, and she was like, "Oh, that was on the top of the shelf," and I was like, "So Spencer was up there, and he knocked it over." And then the only reason I knew that it was him was because I actually took a picture of him doing it. I don't even know if I have that, but I took a picture of him doing it, and it was just crazy that he sits up there. I don't know if it was on this phone. I'm not going to show you either way, but still, he sits up there on the shelf. And he just has himself a time. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm very mad about that. Now I have to go. I'm going to Lowe's and I'm getting all the things to attach it to the wall. Honestly, what I should do is move the outlet so that it's closer to that shelf or closer to the projector. I should do that. I probably will. Anyways, um, many investors make a mistake of selling winners because they see profit, then buy the losers because they look cheap. I hear that. Yeah. And well, it shows, right, that they don't have the patience to let the profits not let the profits rise, but let the position that they were buying be what it's going to be what they thought it was going to be. Right? Not saying that you have to believe crazy things. Like if you're like, hey, XRP is getting to $10,000, it's like it's not. You don't have to wait until you get to $10,000. Like, but establish an exit plan based on the prices that it gets to and the things that you want to accept, the profits that you want to accept, and the amount that you want to leave in there. It makes you feel great to know that this is what you're going to accept, and there's no in between. If you see those profits and you're like, there's $1,000 worth of profit, there's $5,000 worth of profit, and you're like, I need to take that profit. It means you didn't have the patience for this to begin with, and you've never seen that much of a profit, and you think that it's all going to go away, which it could. It could all go away, but with patience, you'll see the ups, you'll see the downs, you'll see the ups again, you'll see the downs again, and hopefully, ultimately, in the end, you will end up seeing the gains at a way more positive rate than what you were seeing in the last two iterations. So yeah, I agree with that. That's why when people say, "Oh, I should have bought Bitcoin back in the day," if you bought Bitcoin back in the day, I guarantee you would have sold in 2020, in 2021. I guarantee you would have sold, probably even before that. Because let's say you did buy Bitcoin and you spent $1,000 on it, and you have 5 Bitcoin or something crazy, and you saw it start to break out. You spent $1,000. It breaks out, gets to $50,000. You're telling me you're not going to go, oh, you know what? I should take all of it. Most people would take all of it. Some smart people would hold it, but then they would end up selling at an even greater gain, $100,000, and it's like, I did better than you did. Some other people would sell some, maybe they would sell half of it, and some of the smartest people would probably sell one of it because they're getting what they invested plus a lot back and then leaving 4 in there. And now they understand that $10,000 worth of a gain is great, but you can also see a lot more. And they will see that grow as you move along. Yes, by the time you got to this point, you may have sold all of it, but you might have hundreds of thousands of dollars versus just 50,000 or 100,000. Or you might have $1,000,000. Who knows, right? Not with that level, obviously, worth $100,000 per coin. You only have 5. The max you can get is $500,000. But the point is that you can get a lot more than what you would get if you decided to sell it all when it got to $50,000 worth of a gain. So yeah, I think it's definitely a struggle. That's why I've always said that people are always like, oh, it's hard to find the right entry points. It's hard to figure all this investing stuff out. No, it's not. That's not the hardest part of investing. The hardest part of investing is actually selling your positions, is letting go. Either let go or not letting go, right? It's, do you make a mistake in investing into something and selling it too early? Ultimately, you can say that for anything, right? If you bought Facebook when it was $70 and then it's when it's now Meta and worth $400 or $500 or whatever it's worth right now. If you sold at 300, is that a failure? No, right? You made money from it. You're going to see that progress. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to be worth a lot more. But what you were willing to accept was the $300 price point. So take that as a win. It's not every day that people have successful trades, right? There are a lot of people that fail. And they fail because they see the negativity. Also, you said you think Jasmine would get to 20 cents in 2024 and over $1 in 2025. Yeah, Jasmine has been declining the entire year. It has made me worry. You think maybe 12 to 15 cents is more reasonable? So I understand that when I'm talking about a position, it's based on altcoin season. And when you see altcoin season that looks like it's about to happen, we've never seen this to where it continues to express the movement of altcoin season. But then you also see the decline in in the overall market because of what the SEC was going through and everything there. There were many factors as into why the cryptocurrency market overall was falling. It wasn't just Jasmy Coin. So that's where it's a difference maker between that. Um, you think that altcoin season is going to break out in that year, but obviously, it doesn't as you see the negativity that's going into it. And then you start seeing the positivity, right? You start seeing the flow of money that's into ETFs, the conversation around ETFs, the conversation around cryptocurrency in general being more widely accepted. So, yeah, um, some of the predictions, I don't tend to give yearly predictions. I'll put in my like thumbnail or title, like right now is 2024. This is what I expect. Um, but as you see altcoin season truly happen, that's what I expect in altcoin season. It's more of a season thing rather than a yearly thing. Because if 2024, um, if I think that altcoin season is going to start in that year, and then 2025 it's going to have that major output, and then also in 2026 we see um, a little bit more of that before it decides to fall off. That's my whole altcoin season schedule. The issue now is seems like altcoin season is shortened, um, where there are a lot of things that haven't broken out, but Bitcoin and Ethereum have made larger moves. Bitcoin much larger moves than Ethereum has, and I expect to see Ethereum make those moves. But XRP is broken out to higher levels. It should be a lot higher than where it stands here today. BNB has broken past all-time highs, up to 130, 140 billion dollar market cap. Solana has broken past all-time highs recently. Well, not. It was like 8 months ago, I think. They said it was at $300, which is crazy because I didn't see that. But still, breaking past these levels and being worth $100+ billion, almost $150 billion, is amazing. Dogecoin's getting his own ETF, right? Or has its own ETF. XRP has its own ETF. We're getting a multi cryptocurrency ETF. So again, it's about the season, not about just the year. It's what I think is going to happen within that year based on the season that's there, right? And if the season didn't happen, then that time stable or that time schedule gets pushed quite a bit. So I if you think that 12 to 15 cents is more reasonable for your um, investment, then that's fine. What I'm saying is that my what I'm looking for and what I want to see, not saying what 100% will happen, what I want to see is a 10 to 20 cent level by the end of 2025. It doesn't mean that it will happen. In my mind, it will, right? But my mind is not your mind. My mind is not the next person's mind, right? And if it doesn't happen in 2025, I'm not going to be butthurt about it. I'm not going to say, oh, well, you know what? I might as well sell all my Jasmy coin because it didn't happen. No, I'm going to look for that to happen in a later time frame. I want to see 10 to 20 cents. Doesn't mean that I will. I expect to see 10 to 20 cents. It doesn't mean that I will. I think the cat maybe is, well, I read that. Out of context, but I just started watching NFL from the UK. I think I might pick the Colts as my team. Any suggestions? um, I mean, whatever you gravitate towards, right? Whatever team interests you the most, offense or defensively or whatever, right? I have been a Saints fan for pretty much my entire life. I watch the Eagles as well because I'm from PA, so I'm engulfed in Eagles culture. Um, I'm a huge fan of certain players. I think what you should do is pick a player that you like watching them play and be a fan of that player for sure. But then also pick a team that excites you, that you just want to watch. Like I've been recently because of Travis Hunter, I've been watching the Jags a lot. Even though Travis Hunter hasn't really done much, I'm a big fan of Travis Hunter. So I've been watching them. When the Vikings had Adrian Peterson, I was a big fan of watching the Vikings because Adrian Peterson was amazing. Um, Same thing goes for Marshawn Lynch when he was on the Seahawks, I and they beat the Saints pretty bad a few times. So I think you need to pick a team that excites you to watch, right? That you're excited to watch, um, especially if you're from the UK. It's about what team excites you. It's not about like where you're from or anything because all the teams are from the U.S. But the Colts are interesting. I don't what are the Colts' record? I haven't seen what they've even done. I haven't watched the Colts since Andrew Luck. Um, NFL standings. Colts are 3-0. I didn't even know that. What are they doing? Like who? Ravens are 1-2. The Bengals are 2-1. Chargers are 3-0. Bills are 3-0. That's understandable. The Chiefs suck. Um, this is all AFC. The Jags are 2-1, which I should know that because I watched all the games. Eagles are 3-0, but that last game was crazy. Giants are 0-3, understandable. Saints are 0-3, not understandable. No, the first game it seemed like they were going to be um, a problem. Not a problem, but like they they had a little bit of chemistry. They could figure some stuff out, but they got absolutely destroyed the last game. I didn't even watch. I didn't want to watch any of the highlights because the Cardinals game, 20-13, it wasn't bad. I feel like the defense was holding up pretty well. Same thing for the 49ers game. I feel like the defense was holding up well. We just kind of collapsed in the end. The Saints game, the Seahawks game, that was just a disaster. So I don't know. Pick a team. Thank you for becoming an early access tier member. I appreciate it. Honestly, I haven't done anything with early access membership, but I do appreciate you becoming an early access membership. And maybe I'll have to continue to do that. I think you're the only one at this point in early access to get the videos a little bit early. So thank you for becoming a member. In 2021, 2017, 2013, every 4 years. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about something. Okay. Found an old Colts jersey in a thrift store, and I like it. The color blue stars are aligning. All right, Mahomes uh, getting stick at the minute. Glad to support. Been watching you for years. Well, thank you for supporting. I appreciate it. I try to do the best I can with all of the information that I have, um, with the investments that I'm making. But again, it's all about what I like to do here is not necessarily tell people what to do on what they should buy, how long they should hold. Um, it's about kind of learning by example in a way. The way that I learned how how to invest into cryptocurrency, into stocks, into whatever is always by learn by example. I see what people are doing, and then I go, okay, why are they doing that? I break that down a little bit, and then when I break that down, I go, okay, this is what I can do in that place. I can add this to my portfolio or add this to my strategy. Or if it doesn't work, I can test it out for a little bit. And then if it does work, then I'll keep it. until it doesn't, and then we'll um, figure out why it didn't work and just learn as I go along. So as I'm doing something, as I make a trade for a reason, as I buy into a position at a certain level, and maybe even am down on that position. Um, Anybody and everybody should learn from the mistake or the successes that I have. And that's what I always try and do here. It's not about being an educator in any way, because there may be a lot of places that you know more than I know. There may be some places or a lot of places that I know more than you know, but it's about more or less learning from each other. If I see you made a move into a play and it's currently at a higher level, why did it go that high? What do I see in this position? There have been many positions where somebody has mentioned it. We've talked about it during the live stream, and then either during the live stream or after the live stream, I'm buying it because I see so much upside in that position. Not only from what they said, but also from the research that I've done. You know, so currently, just to give you an update on where the market is before we decide to get off here, because I have to, go get these kids ready for school in a little bit. The current market is sitting at a $3.9 trillion market cap. Um, Bitcoin is slightly up in the last 24 hours. Ethereum is also slightly up in the last 24 hours. XRP is up by 2% in the last 24 hours, down by 5% in the last 7 days. Solana down by 1% in the last 24 hours, down by 7% in the last 7 days. Dogecoin is up by 1% in the last 24 hours and down by 9% in the last 7 days. Avalanche has seen the most positivity, and hopefully that continues, right? Avalanche is up by 10 or 11% in the last 24 hours, up to about a 35-cent price point. Or sorry, $35 price point. I don't know why I keep going cent. $35 price point. You have Stellar that's up by 3.5% at an $11.8 billion market cap. HBAR that's up 3% at a $9.4 billion market cap. Litecoin that's up to 106. Kronos that is up to 21 cents, but is still down 6% over the last 7 days. If I look at the last 24 hours, what's up the most? Is this out of the top 100? But you have OG that is up by 57%, a $1.2 billion market cap, seeing $3.3 billion worth of volume. I don't know what this is, but it has a lot of volume, and it's a high market cap. $1.2 billion, circulating supply. Total supply is infinite. Max supply is infinite. Total supply is 1 billion. Circulating supply at 20%, 21% of that. That's not something I like to see. Because the fully diluted value is 5.7, $5.8 billion. So for all history and everything that's out here, this is worth 1.3 billion or 1.23 billion, but I'm not going to look at it anything close to that just because there's so much dilution that can go into it and I don't know what it is. But yeah, you got Avalanche that's up one of the most. You got Mantle, you got CRO that's up quite a bit. If we look at my watch list, some things that are up highest in my watch list, you got Avalanche that's up the most. Grok is actually up by 7.5%. That's great to see. Kronos again 6.7%. Magic that's also up by 2.66%. Yeah, we're seeing some positivity, which is great. I like to see positivity. I like it. I just think crypto is the new wave. Um, Either it's going to crash, which I highly doubt in the future, or it's going insanely up. I don't think it's going to stay the same price. I just rather take my chance. Um, Yeah, just to say all the top 100 coins will eventually blow over time. I truly believe years from now we won't see these low levels again in the bear market. Future truly believe history repeats itself. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think there's a lot of people that are looking at the crypto market and going, oh, everything's going to fall and everything's going to be worth zero and there's no use for it at all. But if you look at how things are aligning, there's more conversation that's happening for cryptocurrency. There's ETFs that are happening that are tracking specific cryptocurrencies, right? Instead of tracking, a specific market like you do with, ETFs or have multiple sectors in a way, they're tracking one specific cryptocurrency. And that's to give the option to traditionalists to invest directly into Bitcoin, but indirectly, right? So people that primarily will invest with Fidelity, right? They can now go on there and look for BTC, what was it, BTCF or something, one of the ETFs, and they can buy Bitcoin and they can hold it and track it at the same percentage rate that Bitcoin is rising at. They can look at this and say, I'm investing into that. And if Bitcoin rises by 5%, this over here rises by 5%. It's tracking Bitcoin directly. It's going directly with it, and they're putting their money all into that. But then you're going to have all encompassing ETFs. You're going to have ones that have a multi crypto ETF, which was approved, right? To have things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, and Solana, and Cardano, and all those things, right? Then you're going to have a top 25 and you're going to have a top 100 cryptocurrencies. And it's going to track the entire market. What is the entire market, which is basically the top 100 cryptocurrencies. And you're going to have less risk. You're going to have more consistency. And you're going to have the market worth so much more than $4 trillion. So everything will explode. This altcoin season, we're going to see things that run. But eventually we will see more of a utility bull run, which that utility bull run can pump it up to multiple tens of trillions of dollars, in my opinion. And people are going to say, why didn't I invest into crypto when crypto was at a $1 trillion market cap? Now the market is at a $30 trillion market cap. What can I do to be invested into this? Well, it has consistency and you can grow by 10% per year, but the people that started out at 1 trillion or 2 trillion or 4 trillion now have hundreds of thousands of dollars that are invested into the crypto market to see that movement consistently. You know why people like Warren Buffett and I mean, you can say Bill Gates, you can say Jeff Bezos, but they started a company that's honestly worth multiple billions, if not trillions, right? But you know why these investors, early stage investors, are so successful? It's because they're early stage investors. They invested in the real estate before everything popped off crazy with real estate. They invested into the tech boom before that even happened. They invested into the internet before anybody believed that those things were going to happen. Many people will say the same thing, and history does repeat itself. Same thing over and over again. And right now, what's in that spot is cryptocurrency. They will tell you on mainstream news, mainstream media, that cryptocurrency is just a fad. It's not going to be worth anything. It sucks and all of that. And then all of a sudden, they slowly get to a point where they start accepting it. And they're like, cryptocurrency is this. Why are they accepting it? Because the people that own this network are now invested in the cryptocurrency. So you can buy it up all you want, and if you do buy it up, now their value is worth so much more. They're utilizing cryptocurrency a lot more. They're not saying that they're wrong, but they're slowly showing that they were wrong over time. And they said the same thing with the internet, that the internet was just a fad that's not going to be around. And look at all these companies that were created, all of this money that was created around it. And I can't wait to see the same thing for cryptocurrency. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Patreon at PerryHGA. You can follow me over there. Don't forget about my link for BTCC, which will be in the chat of every platform of X, of Kick, of Twitch, of YouTube. Feel free to check out that link. It's at the top of the chat in the description as well. You guys can get a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses, and you can trade all the way up to a 500x leverage. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I got to go fix these wires over here, apparently.